Back at Unicoi Gap, ready to go. I am back on trail after my 0 day. I use Gracie Hitchhiker to get into Hiawassee and then back to trail. Highly recommend. She takes cash only and it's $20. And she goes between Hiawassee, Helen, Blairsville, Unicoi Gap, and Dix Creek Gap. If you want to go further, it's more expensive and she might not have time since it's really busy right now. But highly recommend. Got here there safe and sound, got here safe and sound. The first time she picked up me and the guy wanted to go into Helen, and she had to pick up someone in Helen, so I just went along for the ride. That's why I was in Helen. And then went over to Hiawassee, and then the day after I called her and asked what time she would be able to pick me up today. She said there was a group of 8 who were going to Dix Creek and that she could take me to Unicoi after. So today she picked me up at the Holiday Inn Express, and then we went over to the Budget Inn, and we had 11 people total. So 6 in the back and then 5 hikers in the truck. Now I'm trying to do this climb out of Unicoi, which is very steep. And my pack's really heavy because I just resupplied. So that's awesome. And I think I have the hiccups. And it's sprinkling a little bit. So this area is the site of a former cheese factory. There's no ruins or anything, so I don't know exactly where it was. Also a blue blaze to a spring down there. I think this mountain here is Tray Mountain. That's where the shelter I'm trying to go to is. The climb out of Unicoi Gap is Rocky Mountain. And then, I don't know, I'm sure this mountain has a name, but it's not listed on Far Out. But there's a climb out of Indian Grave Gap. And then you go down into another gap, and then you go up to Tray Mountain. I was hoping to get a little further because it's only about 6 miles, but it's been a lot of climbing today. Still in the Chattahoochee-Oconee National Forest, but we're in the Tray Mountain Wilderness. Which was created in 1986. Still working on Tray Mountain. It's not super steep, but it's a couple miles up from the gap. So it's taking some time. This is coming down Tray Mountain. A few good views up there. Some nice ferns. Went to the rhododendron. Walking around the trail is funny because you're like, there's obviously a trail here, and then you're looking around and maybe you'll see a white blaze, but half the time you just kind of have to hope that you're on the trail because, I mean, it's pretty well worn, at least in the Georgia section. Or if there's a bunch of rocks, that's always fun trying to navigate, like going down Blood Mountain. But I haven't gotten lost. I know there was one guy, it was right before Devil's Kitchen or Justice Creek. I don't know why it's named differently on the Able Guide and the Far Out, but he went up from the creek and he went left for probably at least a mile. And then he realized he was off trail, so he had to walk back. But most of the time, if you come across a fork in the path and one way has like tree branches and stuff covering it, that's usually the wrong way to go. But sometimes people go down there for stealth camping. And And Trey Mountain is actually about a mile. It's not 2. It's 2 to the shelter, but now we're going in a sort of downward motion. Little campsite here about a quarter mile from, or not, half a mile, not a quarter mile. We're gonna keep heading down to the shelter. It's mostly downhill, so it should be fairly easy. I am at the Trey Mountain shelter for the night, getting water. This looks like a pretty nice water source. I don't know what this thing is supposed to be, but I like old ruined stuff, so it's kind of cool. Today's mileage from Unicoi Gap was 5.8 miles. I was hoping for something a little better than that because I want to get into Franklin in a reasonable time, and that's at mile 105. So I might need to go back into town at Dix Creek, but I don't know. And I don't really want to go back into town. I would like to be able to do a continuous trail until Franklin, but we'll see. Sometimes shuttles can pick up from other locations than the big ones, but I'm just gonna keep going and see what happens.